Definitely. It was actually really, really fun to, when I came in to shoot originally for IFM, we were talking about just doing a little masturbation piece and this and that, and I ended up getting a conversation with somebody who worked there about some of my hobbies, and I've been doing Japanese rope bondage specifically for about 6 or 7 years now. And so when I mentioned that I did that, they were like, well, can you do that on film? And I've done that on film a lot, so it was really fun to just, I showed up in my see-through pink kimono, and I've been doing... playing with hemp rope, like I said, for 6 or 7 years. I've been tying myself up in bed to, just masturbate or whatever for about 15, 17 years, somewhere in there, since I was like, 9 or 10 years old, the little kid playing in the bedroom, doing cowboys and Indians with themselves. And yeah, it was actually a really, really good time. What I did on film is not something I would recommend for people at home because I've got years of experience being formally trained by a lot of really amazing instructors. But I actually teach rope bondage for erotic play internationally. I've got a book out called Shibari you can use, and it's one of my really happy places to see couples who've kind of got this little fantasy about wanting to come in and maybe have one person tied down to the bed, walk away from a class and go, wow, not only can I do this myself, but we could actually feel really confident and have a lot of fun with just exploring sexuality. It's an interesting mix for me. Part of it is about the eroticism of the sensation of hemp rope sliding against your skin because there's just this... It's like when people pet you with soft furs or satin, or on the other side when you feel somebody kind of slap your bottom. There's the whole sensual range that I adore. I'm also what I would consider a masochist. I do enjoy pain with my sexuality. I love rough sex with not enough lube sometimes, which is, you pay for it the next day, but it's worth it. And I do like harder stuff as well if it's the right situations. And so for me, it was about exploring the sensuality of it, the chance to play with gravity, because once you're up in the air, it pulls on your flesh in different ways. And so, when I'm masturbating in bed normally, I'd be, my ankles would tighten up, and then my calves would tighten up, and my thighs would tighten up. But once you're in midair, that same level of muscle tension you'd build to have a really big orgasm changes, because if I tighten up my thigh, suddenly it's pulling on this rope, which pulls on my chest. So you get a completely different sensation experience. Well, I came in and did another shoot for IFM, which was really fun, where they basically said, no props, no whatever, show up with what you're going to be wearing coming in off the street. And so I went, okay, you sure? They said, yeah, no, we're totally positive. I went, okay. I have a kind of eclectic history. From about ages 8 to 18, actively considered gender reassignment surgery. Born female, I have a beautiful body, and at the end of the day, I look in the mirror and I go, wow, that's a beautiful woman, but I don't identify as a woman. I usually, in my personal life, use male pronouns, which is challenging when you've been working in porn for many years, but it's something that I personally deal with. So one of the things that I do when I'm walking down the street, just to be more comfortable with my body, is I strap down the giant 38Ds, because I look in the mirror and go, yeah, those are beautiful breasts, but they're not mine. So I strap down the chest, and I, pack something in my crotch, and just to have when I glimpse myself in the mirror, I feel like I'm looking at me and what I expect me to be, not necessarily what society expects me to be. It's about how do I feel comfortable in my own body. And so somebody asked me about that video, well, was that just about strap-on play? And I'm like, it's different, because strap-ons, for the most part, there are people who have different experiences, but for me, strap-ons are about putting on an object for sexual play. It's about creating a phallus for just the purpose of sex play, so that you have a chance to have somebody suck your cock or shove something up somebody's ass, whatever it happens to be. When it comes to packing and just wearing a dildo or a soft pack, which is anything from a roll of socks to, really fancy silicone things that can get made, it's about what feels right in the mirror. And so when they said that more, just wear whatever you're wearing, I'm like, okay, because I had been out with my boyfriend, and so I had a hard cock in, because we had been playing earlier that day. So I'm like, okay, I'm rocking up with a hard cock and a strapped down chest, and okay, that's what we're gonna do. And it was really actually nice, because having done porn for a lot of years, most of it through my own website, which is ropelover.com. I've probably worked for about 100 other websites out there as well. Everybody wants me femme, unless I'm shooting for lesbian sites. Everybody wants the tight corsets and the seam stockings, and so to just show up as I am was really refreshing.